All right, guys. So I finally got Prince and Nick on this interview. We've been scheduling this out for a while. Actually, I've been definitely meaning to get you guys on this interview. So thank you for taking the time to hop on with me.
Thanks for having us, man. We're fired up.
No problem.
Hey, absolutely. I'm fired up for you guys. So you hopped into the program and you guys have quite a bit of a story on your accomplishments and everything that you have done and whatnot. So let's get right into it. First things first, I guess, like what were you doing like right before the program, like right before you decided to hop in and join the recruiter program, mentorship program?
Oh man, I can go first. Honestly, Nick and I both have a trucking background, so a lot of what we were doing, honestly, we were doing asset-based trucking. Plus, we were actually recruiting truck drivers as well.
Okay, gotcha. So like CDL, Class A, B, C, all that.
Class A and guys with no Class A's as well.
Got it. And that was like that was your niche. Like that was like the spot that you were in, right?
Exactly. So that was the only thing that we were recruiting for, only thing we were hitting until we found that we could expand on it.
Right. Which you totally did. So, okay, let's talk about that expansion because it was pretty damn good in my eyes. So tell me a little bit about, everybody wants to know, like how many contracts did you seal up? Like once you got into the program, let's say how many contracts, what kind of revenue did you step into, and what's the projected pipeline look like for you guys?
Man, so contracts. So we have about six total contracts that we signed since working with Ben's program. The revenue, so the actual revenue that we've closed on so far has been about 16 and change, and I will say that the pipeline is right now is a little bit north of 100K right now.
Love it, north of 100K coming in the pipeline, and you said 16.5 collected cash.
Collected cash. So this is actually checks collected by our clients that we found.
Money in the bank. I love it. Well, congrats.
It's over just 2 placements.
That's over just 2 placements, right? So you're not even tip of the iceberg right here at this point. So you guys are kind of expanding, on that level, and like throughout the program as well too, because people love to know this. And I always ask, like, were both of you or either of you working like a 9-to-5 traditional job during this, or what did that look like?
So I was working from home already, managing my asset-based trucking company.
Mm-hmm.
The trucking business is cold as ice. So that's when, Prince and I aligned and figured that, there's more money in services. So that's when we got into the recruiting side of it. I'll be honest, like personally, I took on a lot of debt from the trucking business, and while it's still running, it was challenging, man.
Mm. Yeah, no, I hear you on that. And recruiting, I mean, I personally know my opinion, right? But as far as the sustainability and the profitability of the business itself, what would you say your opinions are, having jumped full scope into it?
Man, Prince and I say this all the time, and it's the best money we've tasted, man. It's literally the best. It's clean. You're done. You get the money. You on to the next, and it tastes the best. It's the best taste of money we've ever had. We've ever made, really.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that, and we're also in the hottest recruiting market we've ever seen. So there's money to be like magnitudes of money to be made out there, like that we haven't even discovered. What was your biggest shift? Like let's say if there was one thing that you could put, your finger on, like what was it that really helped you guys maybe pop off, so to speak, and really just start expanding more rapidly than you were previously, and really to get you on track to have that north of 100K pipeline? Like what was the biggest shift?
Go ahead.
Okay, man, I was gonna say the biggest shift for us was like Ben, kept on pushing us to do was, hey, you guys gotta expand outside of what you're doing. Every single time we'd hop on a call with Ben, that was the only thing he would say. And I particularly was super hard-headed on it, and I didn't want to do it until we actually started doing it. And now it's just like, man, like there's just like more opportunities open. The deal sizes have definitely increased. And a lot of times it's for less work. For what we're seeing for placing these candidates. So for me personally, that was my biggest mind shift set, was getting out of the niche and expanding more into other niches.
Truck drivers, where deal size was about 2.5K. We're already at about an average 8K deal size. We see that going up because we're negotiating better. We're getting better terms, better percentages, and just better roles to fill.
100%. Yeah. Like, I think when we were talking, throughout the conversations we've had, like, yeah, you let me know kind of what you were yielding from a certain deal. And I'm like, man, that's like 10% of what you could actually yield from that same deal. Just based on negotiation, where you're valuing your actual, your services. Right. And oftentimes, like I say to everybody, people tend to undervalue themselves by like 50%, right? Just as an entrepreneur, not even their service, right? But with their service and everything that they're doing in their business, for your actual activity, yeah, you've expanded and you've blown it way up. You said your average deal size is 8,000, 8.5, something like that, 8,500 or so. That's average deal size, right? And you're looking at, like you said, 16,500 collected on two placements. So, right, do the math. Look at that going forward with the 100K pipeline, north of 100K. As we were talking before we got on the interview, with that kind of pipeline, with the deal size and the negotiation skills you got, I don't see you guys doing under $500,000 at least this year.
That's
if I'm going to call it out.
Hey man, we're shooting for it. Yeah, we're shooting.
I know you are.
We're gonna shoot for a mill straight to the stars, and
absolutely,
we might land at the
as you should be. 100%. So, like, if there was one thing that you could tell anybody watching this interview that is looking to get into recruiting and staffing, etc., what would you tell them? What would be each of you, what would be your advice for them?
I could go. Honestly, the biggest advice that I would have for anybody that's looking to get in is definitely come in with an open mind. Because even though Nick and I, spent some money on the program, I still came in there with an extremely closed mind. So I feel like that really costed me personally. And, and maybe the whole team, maybe the partnership between Nick and I, because Nick was a little bit more open than I was, because I didn't want to move from recruiting truck drivers. So I would just say, if you are looking into Ben's program, come in with an open mind, soak up everything you can, that he has to offer in the course and the calls, because everything in there works. It's legit. It really does work. So that for me, that's the only thing I would say, is just come in with an open mind.
Yeah, for sure. I just to second that, I would say, just following the process to the T, because we did try to do things that weren't highlighted exactly as you highlight in your program. And, you just got to do everything A to Z. That's the only way to do it. It's the right way to do it. So you've already been through the pain and suffering for us, Ben, so that we don't have to. So that would be my advice. That would really be my advice. Just going there. And then honestly, the satisfaction. This is your business, your contracts, when you don't get this kind of job satisfaction from a 9-to-5, a corporate job. I've done that. I've been there. I'm never going back.
I love that. Both of you guys just gave $1 million advice right there. Honestly, I think so. Heed these words, rewind, watch that again, because the advice that you just gave, both Prince and Nick, both you guys, that's kind of $1 million advice right there. And I love how you put that too, kind of like expanding and opening your horizons, Prince and Nick, how you mentioned kind of like following everything to a T, because it is a blueprint. You know what I mean? It's something where it's, you go through it, you follow it, and make sure that everything's on point, right? So anyways, guys, I don't want to take your whole day. So I want to thank you very much for joining me to be able to hop on this interview, just to chat for a little bit, give people some insight onto your experience, how things went for you in the program, and give a little bit of kind of extra viewpoint on it, how everything went for you. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, man. You're a true blessing, man. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.